Hello Bookish friends, welcome to the first special video about my 2026 reading goals. I am very proud to announce that starting from 2026 I will host a online book club which talks about books written by Turkish authors translated to English and books that are taking place in my country, Turkey. I will choose the platform to host as Voxer. Unfortunately, I do not have access to Discord for almost 1.5 years from Turkey, and I thought Voxer would be the next best thing in order to share both written and voice messages. For this club, we will read 4 books a year. I will give a 3 months period to read one book. Although most probably I will start reading the book in the second month of every period. If you want to join me, you can start and finish the book anytime you want in that time period of 3 months. As a general rule, I plan to give 8 or 6 checkpoints for discussions according to the length of the book. But we can decide about the checkpoints and the discussion of the book significant to each book. In addition to those 4 book club books written by Turkish authors, I also want this platform to be a place where you can get information about Turkish books and discuss and recommend other books written by Turkish authors. I will link my Voxer name down below so that you can message me and I will include you in the club. In this book club, it is not required to read every book that I've chosen for the club. Even if you do not want to read any of the books but want to know more about Turkish literature, I would be very pleased if you become a member of the club. I have done some buddy reads of Turkish books with very dear international friends, and I have enjoyed this experience immensely. So I cannot wait to host this online club, and I'm really hoping you will take an interest and be a part of this community. In the second part of the video, I want to talk about the 4 books that I've chosen for 2026 for the Turkish Shelf Book Club. The first book that we will read in the months of January, February and March is There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Şafak. There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Şafak was first published in 8th of August 2024 by Penguin Books in the United Kingdom and on August 20th, 2024 by Knopf Publishing in the USA. Its Turkish translated edition was published in Turkey on August 20th, 2025 by Doğan Yayıncılık with the title Gökyüzünde Nehirler Var. The book is also translated to Dutch, German, Polish, Spanish, Italian, Croatian, French, Lithuanian, Portuguese, Arabic, Danish, Serbian, Norwegian, Slovenian, Hungarian, Bosnian, Macedonian, and Albanian. This book weaves together 3 main narrative strands set in different times and places. The first one is in Victorian London. A brilliant but marginalized child grows up amid poverty and rigid class divisions, finding refuge in the knowledge, language, and ancient stories. The second narrative is in modern-day Turkey and Iraq. The novel turns its gaze to people living with the consequences of environmental destructions, political violence, and displacement, especially in regions shaped by the Tigris and Euphrates. The last narrative takes place in contemporary London. A woman grappling with loss and identity becomes unexpectedly connected to histories far older than herself. I have read quite a number of Elif Şafak books, and what I find very fascinating about those books are they are not similar at all, even though most of them are historical fiction books. The writing structure and their content matter differs in every book, which I think makes Elif Şafak a much more accessible author with different books. I very much enjoyed most of the books that she wrote, and I am eager to try her latest book with some international friends. The second book comes from an author that I've discovered last year, which is Leyla's House by Zülfü Livaneli. Leyla's House was first published in Turkey in 2006 with the title Leyla'nın Evi by Remzi Kitabevi. The English edition will be published on January 20th, 2026. This book was also translated to Italian, Greek, Persian, and French. The novel unfolds through the eyes of a young narrator whose path crosses that of Mrs. Leyla, who lives in an old mansion in Istanbul. Leyla Hanım represents a way of life from Ottoman era, yet she becomes increasingly isolated in the face of modern Istanbul's ruthless transformation, speculation, migration, and alienation. On one side are the neighborhoods such as Nişantaşı Beyoğlu and Tarlabaşı. On the other, the old Istanbul aristocracy and the new urban poor stand side by side. I was very impressed by Serenade for Nadia, written by this author, and I'm hoping that this book will be as impressive as that one. And the third book that we will read for the months of July, August, and September is The Museum of Innocence by Orhan Pamuk. The Museum of Innocence by Orhan Pamuk was first published in Turkey with the title Masumiyet Müzesi in 2008 by İletişim Yayınları. This book was translated to English by Maureen Freely and published on October 2009. The book was also translated to many different languages such as Spanish, Arabic, Portuguese, Romanian, Serbian, French, Vietnamese, German, Polish, Georgian, Greek, Dutch, Persian, Lithuanian, Thai, Italian, Slavonian, Danish, and Finnish. The story takes place in primarily Istanbul between the late 1970s and 2000s. The novel revolves around love, obsession, memories, and the passage of time, and the details of everyday life. The narrative structure emphasizes emotions and objects rather than a single major event. Small details, objects, places, habits become important elements that reflects the character's inner worlds and the social structure of the period. Orhan Pamuk is the only Turkish author who received the Nobel Prize. But I have to admit, I struggled with some of his books, but I very much enjoyed especially his non-fiction books. But this book is beloved among many friends, and the book's focus being on small details will be much more similar to his non-fiction works. So I'm very excited that I will finally have a chance to read this novel by Orhan Pamuk. The fourth book that I've chosen for the club is Walking on the Ceiling by Ayşegül Savaş. We will read this book in the months of October, November, and December. Walking on the Ceiling by Ayşegül Savaş was first published on August 30th, 2009 by Riverhead Books. The book was also translated to Spanish, Dutch, and German. This debut novel by Turkish-born author Ayşegül Savaş follows Nunu, a young Turkish woman who, after her mother's death, moves from Istanbul to Paris. There she meets M, an older British novelist whose work about Turkey she has long admired. Through eccentric correspondence, long walks around Paris, and intimate conversations, they develop an unusual friendship that becomes a lens through which Nunu begins to confront her past. I have not read any books from Ayşegül Savaş yet. I've heard really good things about her writing. Thus, I became very curious about her work. And when I read the plot of this book, I very much enjoyed its connection with authors and the psychological reflections, which is a subject matter that I usually enjoy in books. So this was my announcement of my Turkish Shelf online book club, which will take place in Voxer, as well as information about the 4 books that I've chosen for the club for 2026. Like I said in the beginning of the video, you do not have to read every book for being a member of the club. You can read just one book or be a member just to talk about books written by Turkish authors. Please comment down below. Will you consider joining this online book club? And also, did you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video, and what did you think of them? If you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose ceiling. Ceiling means tavan in Turkish, and taban is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.